Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a highly anticipated collection from MAC. We finally have an Aaliyah for MAC collection. Aaliyah was a recording artist in the 90s and very early 2000s. She was also an actress, a model, and she graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA. So she was just as smart as she was talented and beautiful. She was very tragically killed in a plane crash in 2001. She was only 22 years old, and her fans have been adamantly petitioning for years for a Aaliyah for MAC collection, and here it is. I was in my mid-teens around the height of her career, so I definitely remember hearing Aaliyah's songs on the radio, and she had such a cool style. I know that her work and her life really touched a lot of people, and I think that this collection is such a cool tribute to her and her style. Her brother, Rashad, worked with MAC to develop these products, and he says that all of these shades are inspired by things that were in Aaliyah's actual makeup bag. So a lot of these shades have a very 90s feel to them. There's something that's both soft and edgy about it. So before I just ramble on and on, let's go ahead and get into some product info. This collection is going to be available online on June 20th and in select MAC stores on June 21st. It will also be available internationally at select MAC locations. I don't have an exact date, but it should be available internationally sometime in July. Of course, I'm wearing a lot of the products today, so while I go through all this info, I'm going to show you swatches, and I'm also going to show you a quick little eyeshadow tutorial for this look that I created today using the palette from this collection. Let's start off with the bronzing powder. The shade is called Baby Girl, and it's described as a pure golden with a soft pearl. The US price will be $27 for this powder, and the Canada price is $33. I was a little nervous because this didn't really swatch that great. I went over my swatch a few times and I couldn't really get a lot of pigmentation, but I was pleasantly surprised as I applied this to my face. It definitely showed up well, and a lot of these little golden glitter flecks that you can see in the powder didn't translate to my face. I don't have a sparkly face at all. I don't really mind that this doesn't swatch well because it does apply well, but I am just a little surprised at how light this powder is. Because Aaliyah was a woman of color, I just expected a little bit more depth in this bronzing powder. So it works really well for me. Of course, I mean, it's a collector's item. It's a beautiful compact. It's a beautiful collector's item, but I was just a little surprised that the shade was so light. Let's move on to the two lip pencils. I'm so happy to see lip pencils in this collection because that's definitely a very 90s makeup item. Of course, lip pencils are always going to be relevant, but when I think of 90s makeup, I think of like frosty eyeshadows, body glitter, and lip liner. So we have two lip pencils in this collection. These are going to be priced at $17.50 US dollars or 22 Canadian dollars. MAC describes the shade Follow Your Heart as an intense violet purple. I definitely think it looks more like a very blue-toned red in person. And the shade Nevermore is described by MAC as a pure black. It actually has a bit of softness to it. In person, I think you can kind of tell in the swatch that it has almost like a purpley brown tone to it, which I think will make it a lot more wearable and not quite as harsh as a pure dark black. Next up, we have 4 lipstick shades. These are going to be the same price as the lip pencils, $17.50 in US dollars or 22 Canadian dollars. The shade Try Again has a matte finish, and it's described as a soft muted beige. Then we have Hot Like, which is an amplified finish, and it is a creamy fire red. Another amplified finish lipstick is More Than a Woman, and this is a cool deep red, beautiful berry tone. I think a lot of people are going to look great in this shade. And lastly, we have a frost finish lipstick called Street Thing. This is a pure black with shimmer, and these are some pretty big shimmers. I would go as far to say glitter. To round up the lip products, we have 4 lip gloss shades. These are going to be retail priced at $17 each, or 21 Canadian dollars. We have Brooklyn Born, which is a sheer nude with pearl. Lily's Motor City, which is coral with a little bit of shimmer. At Your Best You Are, which is a warm berry. And 1 in a Million, which is a deep, rich purple. Last but definitely not least, we have a 9-pan eyeshadow palette called Age Ain't Nothing. The Age Ain't Nothing palette is gonna retail for $32 US or 42 Canadian dollars. On the top row, we have Love Smoke, which is a sterling silver and a Velux pearl finish. And Care For You, a black with silver sparkle and a luster finish. Magic More, a mauve plum with subtle shimmer, also a Velux pearl. In the middle row, there is Creative Copper, a metallic gold and a luster finish. That's Somebody, a gold brown with gold shimmer and a satin finish. And Princess of Soul, a muted golden brown matte shadow. On the very bottom row, we have Deception, which is a cool medium brown frost shade. Ginger Snap, a muted pinky coral, also in a frost. And Dance in the Dark, a deep, cool toned matte brown. Now that you've seen the swatches and heard all the product details, let's jump into a quick tutorial and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. Gotta start off with my all-time favorite eye base, so I'm priming my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. Then I'm going straight in with my transition shade. I'm using That Somebody on a fluffy crease brush and just working that all through my crease and a bit onto my lid as well. For my next step, I took a smaller, still fluffy brush and I mixed the shades Princess of Soul and Dance in the Dark to add some depth and some drama to the outer part of my eye, and I also worked that into the crease a bit as well. Then I went back with my original crease brush with no additional product to blend everything together. I knew I wanted a really frosty eye look as an ode to the 90s, so I used Deception applied with my finger to the outer part of my eye, and then Ginger Snap also applied with the finger all over the rest of the lid. What would a frosty look be without a super bright, icy inner corner highlight? I used the shade Love Smoke on a small detail brush and applied that all around the inner corner of my eye. Then I just curled my lashes and added some of my Essence Lash Princess mascara. Then I finished my look off with lips. I added some of the Lily's Motor City lip gloss with a little bit of the Brooklyn Born lip gloss right in the center to give it a pop of shine. This is such a beautiful collection. Just the outer packaging is so sleek, so eye-catching. These are definitely collector's items. Make no mistake about that. Regardless of what is inside these products, this collection is gonna sell out like crazy. People are gonna be waiting and ready, camping out outside of MAC stores. Believe me, if you want this collection, be ready and don't sleep on it, because I know Aaliyah's fans are gonna go crazy for this makeup. And the good news is the product itself is actually really, really beautiful as well. I've enjoyed all of these pieces. I think that they performed really well. Even surprisingly, the bronzer, which I didn't expect to like because it didn't swatch well and it looks super glittery in the pan. But I think once it's applied to the face, it actually looks really beautiful. I wish that there were more options available in the bronzing powder. I just think that there should have been something that was a little bit more deep skin tone friendly. If I had to choose my top favorite things from the collection, first would be the eyeshadow palette. These powders are so soft, beautiful, really easy to work with. Over the past couple of years, MAC has really stepped up their formula in these smaller pans. Their single eyeshadows have always been fantastic, but a few years back, their 9-pan palettes really weren't that great. Since they re-released all the new ×9 palettes like a year or two back, when my favorite palette, the Semi Sweet ×9, came out, Ever since then, all of these that I've tried have been so fabulous. This one is no exception. I had such an easy time blending these. All of the colors are super pigmented without having too much fallout. I like that there's a mix of warm and cool tones in here. There's a very approachable shade selection, a lot of neutrals, but also a couple pops of color if you want to have a little bit of fun with your eyeshadow. So number one top pick from the collection is going to be this Age Ain't Nothing palette. Gorgeous. This is the must-have for me. My other two favorites are lip products. First, this beautiful berry lipstick called More Than a Woman. This is the kind of shade that has a 90s feel to it, but it still feels very current, very classic, and this is gonna look great no matter your skin tone, no matter your age. This is really the kind of color that's gonna look beautiful on everyone. My last favorite is this lip gloss in the shade Brooklyn Born. I really like this because I like the way that it pairs with a bunch of other lip colors. All of these that I've tried on, I like to put a little bit of this right in the center of my lips for a pearly sheen. The lip gloss formula is fantastic. Everybody knows MAC does great lip products. This has just the right amount of pigmentation that it shows up, but it's not super sticky, very comfortable, such a cool sort of transformer or topper product. So that's why I like the Brooklyn Born gloss. I'd love to know what your favorites are from this collection. Are you gonna be camped out waiting for these products to drop? Leave a comment and let us know what you're most excited about. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. A recording actress? A recording actress? That's just me. What do I know? What do I know about anything? Brooklyn Born. Brooklyn Born. Alliteration. I like it. I like it. I swear this bronzer just looks like chunks of glitter. But it looks like nothing in swatch, but it actually looks good on the face. I don't get it. It's a magic bronzer. This gold though, I had to try so hard not to wear this gold. Oh, beautiful. Frosty, shimmery 90s. Everything gives me life. You know you love your lip liner in the 90s. Actually, some of you probably weren't even born yet in the 90s. You probably thought I wasn't born yet in the 90s. I was born in the 80s. For some reason, people always think that I'm really young, and I never know whether to be insulted by that or not, because on the one hand, it means like, hey, you have really nice skin, and on the other hand, I was really dumb when I was a teenager, so I don't want people to think I'm a dumb teenager. So I'm a dumb adult. Get it right. Okay. Well, that's enough. That's enough of that. You're done. You're cut off from caffeine for the day.